another Killer Planes video.
Hey there, Steve and the lovely Denise down here at the airport, which is still here after a huge sabbatical. We've been off for a while because, well, we had other things to do. One of the things that kept us busy was Uncle Jerry, who then sadly died because we were waiting for this plane to come out. Why? Because Uncle Jerry was one of the ground radar people in the Pacific working with this specific plane. In the Pacific, working with this specific plane. Specific. The whole time they were talking about this plane, we had Uncle Jerry and we were going, they're going to come out with your plane finally. And then he died, and then they came out with the plane. Isn't that perfect?
Isn't it ironic?
So now we have the plane and no Uncle Jerry. Got nothing to do with this thing. Let's just crash it and get rid of the thing.
Nah.
But actually, now we have this plane, and we're going to make a movie, and we're going to send a letter to Uncle Jerry in heaven and tell him, watch YouTube, and you'll be able to see the model of your plane flying around. They probably don't even need the internet. They can just like look down and see it, right?
They definitely have YouTube in heaven.
They have whatever you want in heaven. So this is the Dynam Black Widow.
Black Widow, baby!
The P-61, the famous first night fighter in the world, the first dedicated night fighter that was built as a night fighter, as a pursuit plane. So they built this thing originally with a dorsal mounted turret on here in one of the early variants that had 450 caliber machine guns, and then there were 4 20mm cannons that they were positioning all over the place and finally ended up sticking them on the belly. So there's 420s down there, 450s up here. Stay out of the way of this monster.
Oh my.
They had 3 seats so that there was a pilot, a gunner, and a radar man in the back here. If you happen to see my little clear plastic tailpiece here, just tell me, okay? Why? Because it fell on the floor in my shop.
Oh no.
This here is a nice model made by Dynam. As you can expect, the Dynam quality, and I would expect the Dynam flyability to be part of this babe, and we're gonna find out when we put it up. It's got retractable gear.
Fat wheels on this baby.
4-part flaps.
4 functioning flaps. Oh yeah, baby.
Ailerons, of course, elevator, twin working rudders, steerable nose gear. And this whole thing's like ready to go. Counter-rotating props are already set up to spin in at the top. Personally, I'd put them the other way, but this is actually the way they're supposed to go. In case you lose an engine, the torque is pulling against the weight of the plane. This one is, of course, fully reinforced. It comes with detachable wings. We didn't glue them on, but we did put a piece of tape across the seam because it looks nicer. And we have extra supports that go into the wing, 3 more than they put on there. And it's got working lights now. Of course, they didn't use any of those when they were flying this plane because they flew it at night and they didn't want you to see them.
To be invisible.
So there are red markings on the top of the wing this time, and the entire bottom of the plane is black. How does the black belly of the beast look from your vantage point? We're supposed to put one of these things on the bottom, but no thank you. I want all my marks on the top, so when I'm looking at the bottom of the plane, I'm just seeing black. The black belly. So I know it's the bottom up there somewhere. So let's put this baby up, see how it flies, and if you want one with reinforcement the way that we do it, you come to killerplanes.com, and we'll supply you with one of these Dynam P-61s.
And of course you'll want to get foam prep on this baby.
Oh yeah, so we're selling them with foam prep. We drill all the holes, put the rods in. When you get it, pull the rods out, and then glue them back in the holes. We're using, by the way, a 4-cell, 4,000 milliamp hour battery, just a single battery for the 2 engines. I was going to split them, but I figured fly it a few times first and see what it's like. I might want to split them later. Who knows? So let's do it.
Do it. Oh, look at her. Wow. And a beautiful liftoff. Just looks effortless.
Yeah, baby.
Oh yeah. Ooh, coolness. How's she handling, Steve?
Sweet.
Yay!
Very sweet plane. A little rudder turn. Look at that baby.
Oh,
just a
so
tiny,
cool.
Tiny little bit of rudder.
It's a very cool design.
And let's come around. We're getting some now. So you would never see this coming. It would come in behind you
at night.
Oh gosh.
So not only was it behind you, and not only was it nighttime, but the thing's black.
One of the first stealth planes, huh?
Oh yeah, so this was the first night fighter.
Black widow, baby.
Bird!
There we go. Woo! Flying ADD.
I think this deserves a battery per motor, actually.
How does she behave?
She behaves beautifully, as you can see, nice and steady. It's breezy right now.
Yeah, it is.
This plane is flying really steady, even in this breeze.
Turns.
Turns
Beautifully.
beautifully. It's not a tight turning plane, it's a big, huge plane.
Well, yeah.
And in real life, it was a big, huge plane. And I don't think they had to turn tightly.
Yeah, they weren't all about maneuverability in a dogfight. They were about sneaking up and
They were about positioning yourself behind the bad guy.
Yeah.
And blowing him to
Obliterating.
smithereens with a total of 8 guns, 4 machine guns, 50s, and 4 20mm cannons. I mean, like, that would be enough to shred any Japanese plane back then. So look at this baby go, man.
Woo! Awesome.
I mean, it's doing, you know, aerobatic maneuvers. So it's a big fat plane. As far as fighters go, you know, this was clearly big enough to carry 3 guys.
Yeah.
Lots of equipment, lots of gas, lots of armament. You know, they made a big plane. 6 pounds of business.
It's big. It's a plane. It's a big plane.
It's big. I would assume this is near the size of a B-25.
Oh yeah, I think so too.
In real life, I mean, it's big. You know, it's not a tiny little plane. I've seen one once down at the Air and Space Museum, and it's pretty impressive. Look at that rudder right around, man. I'm doing a tiny, tiny little
So,
bit
you
of
know,
rudder
not
to do
built for
that.
speed and maneuverability, but still really maneuverable.
Okay, we're ruddering around here. Tiny little bits of rudder. I'm
Pretty
moving
amazing.
my stick like a hair to do that. Little left rudder. Okay, 2 hairs to do this.
It's just such a cool looking plane. You definitely need it in your hangar.
Oh yeah.
How could you not want this?
You know, for me, for $259, good lord, are you
So-
kidding me? It's got 4 flaps, 3 retractable gear, so it doesn't have doors on the gear. I can't really notice that.
The
while it's
retracts
flying
are
around
like
at this speed.
super beefy, hefty.
Even with the belly facing you like this, see that? I don't notice that there's no doors. Why? It's black. I painted the gear legs black.
Paint it black, you devil.
When you look up at the bottom of the plane while you're flying, you just see black. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's cool.
So let's chop the throttle down a bit. Okay, that was a half throttle, fairly tight turn. This is a nice slow, no flaps down the runway.
Gosh,
so
can you say sleek? Like you can barely see her on the side.
it's very, very sleek plane, man, and it was super powerful.
Love it.
Very fast. As far as I know, in real life, this is the plane that shot down the last enemy plane in the Pacific in World War II. Okay, that was our timer, so we're not going to mess around. We're going to put the wheels down and the flaps down, and we're going to... Yeah, baby.
Nice.
Easy to land, I'll tell you that much.
Yay!
And the fact that it's got wide tricycle gear means that you can swing it around in a turn or do a sharp turn to keep from
Yeah,
running
look at
off the
that,
runway if
jeez.
you want.
So there it is. The plane is beautiful. It flies beautifully. It looks really nice. And, you know, even with somewhere around 20% more weight in it, it flies like that. I'm a happy man. And so is Uncle Jerry. So get your P-61 at Killer Planes with reinforcement. That's how we sell them. And we will see you on the flight line.